Hey Vijay,
Hi, Rishi.
thanks for taking out the time on Sunday to do this with me. I'm doing this with a lot of my clients now, and I like to get their experiences, but I also like my audience to get to know my clients also a little bit, to know who they are and what they do. So, um, why don't we start with? We've now known each other for about 3 years now. 2017, we first met through a friend of mine, Rukmini, recommended me because I think she was connected with your wife Nilima, and you were looking for somebody to manage your online presence and stuff like that with the website. Started with the website, so let's just go backtrack, and I'd like my audience to know a little bit about you, how you started doing what you're doing. You can go back as long as you want to share that journey, and then we can talk more about the various technologies that you're using. So just go for it.
Thank you for the opportunity. And the Sunday morning is a good time to have this reflective kind of conversation. So, my name is Vijay Bhatt. I'm the founder of an organization called Cancer Awakens and Stress to Swasthya. My own history is that the pertinent part of the history is that I was diagnosed with cancer myself in the year 2001. And I'm fortunate that I have recovered well from it. It's now almost 20 years, and all the lessons that I have learned along the way, we have captured in our book, which is called My Cancer Is Me. We provide a lot of online resources, and Rishi, you have been an integral part of that for the last 3 years at least. And now we also offer cancer coaching services, and the entire business model for that is online. And so that is a pioneering effort. And again, the fact that it is online, I think, means you know how important you and your team are to our success to be able to make that happen. Prior to my cancer, I have had already two careers. My first career was in the advertising industry for about 25 years. And my second career was as a leadership coach and consultant for maybe 12, 13 years. So this is my swan song. This is my purpose, and this is what I want to leave behind as my enduring legacy. So that, in a nutshell, is about me. The part I want to emphasize today is that we not only help people who have already been diagnosed with cancer, and there are a lot of them. Cancer is a very major disease. But I'm very keen to also help people who want to prevent cancer or prevent serious illness. And because, why deal with it after it's happened? As they say, prevention is the best form of cure. Now, if you want to prevent cancer, or if you want to heal from cancer, the premise is exactly the same. And the premise is that your immunity needs to be kept at an optimum level. And in order to keep your immunity at an optimum level, you have to manage your stress and your strengths. So you can see the linkage between my cancer journey, the work that we are doing in the rehabilitation space, but also in the prevention space, and the centrality of stress and immunity to our approach. Now, why is this relevant today? See, even before COVID and the lockdown, everybody is under stress. Whether it's the CEO of an organization or the prime minister, or whether it is a peon in the organization, or whether it is a housewife, or whether it is a entrepreneur, everybody is under stress. But people don't have a clear idea of what stress is. There is no shared understanding or a shared definition. And people are also not aware that stress is not unidimensional. There are multiple dimensions to stress. So, for example, there is a physical dimension, there is an emotional dimension, there is a mental dimension, there is a relationship dimension, and there is even a spiritual dimension. And so, unless you know what stress is, unless you know the sources of stress within yourself, and they will be different for you and different for another person. And until you have the right tools to deal with it, unfortunately, stress is going to remain a silent killer, as it's called. Now, this is pre-COVID, when things were supposedly normal. Now, COVID and the lockdown has in many ways made things worse, because suddenly a much larger fear has crept into our entire society and into our entire planet. And we have gone into isolation and hibernation. And while there are some positive things to it, which is we have all slowed down, we have all learned to become more self-reliant, we have all learned to share housework and office work, there are also many negatives, because human beings are social animals. We are not used to isolation. Work is a very important part of what brings us fulfillment. And for many of us who don't work in an online environment, work has come to a standstill. And we are also seeing that a lot of people have got this illness. And as of yesterday, 500,000 people around the world have died from it.
Yeah.
This is a huge number.
Right.
And so businesses have been disrupted, livelihoods have been disrupted. We've all seen the tragedy of the migrants. And so therefore there is a different kind of a stress during the lockdown. And now that the lockdown is going to be eased, there is going to be a new kind of stress, because no one knows what the future holds.
Right.
The rich person is stressed because the stock market is down by 30%.
Right.
The poor person is stressed because his savings have run out. He doesn't have income. He doesn't know how to feed the family. So at every level, we are going to see a lot of stress. And in fact, there is some research these days to show that 7 out of 10 people feel that their stress is so high that they could be at risk of burnout. So here we have a situation where we don't understand it, we don't have a way to diagnose it, and it's going to get worse. So what can we do? What can we offer in this kind of a situation?
So you had basically decided to approach this with a workshop, a one-to-one counseling, coaching. So tell us more about your various services that you are focused on, and then we can later on get into the technology. But just talk a little bit about how your program can help people who are right now undergoing stress.
Yeah. So as I said, the first thing is that it's like your car. If you don't have a checkup, you can't have a tune-up. Or like your computer. If you don't scan your computer for problems, you'll never be able to fix it.
So what's the scanner? What's the checkup for stress?
Exactly. So that is what we have created. And, you guys have been an integral part of that creation. It's called the Holistic Health Questionnaire. And that Holistic Health Questionnaire is a free online diagnostic tool that anybody can use, anybody can take. It takes only 30 minutes to complete. And you will get a snapshot of your stress profile. You will understand which of these aspects, physical, emotional, mental, relational, and spiritual, which of them might be the most stressful, which of them might be marginally stressful, and which of them might actually be your strengths. And once you have this checkup, then you can do the tune-up. So if you're somebody with an illness, you know which aspects to focus on. If you're somebody who doesn't have an illness but wants to stay healthy, then you know what aspects to build on, what aspects to let go, etc. So I would say that the core thing that we offer to a general audience is this Holistic Health Questionnaire.